gentlemen, we are back. Long anticipated return of the Coley Mania podcast with myself, Reece Cole, and I am joined today by Mr. James Matthews, his second appearance on the show, one more appearance away from a Hall of Fame ring. James, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, pal. Good to see you again.
Perfect. That is what I like to hear. We've been away for a while. The last time that you would have saw myself, my usual tag team partner, Mr. Stephen Chambers, was by my side, and we was joined by four incredible performers from the Brit wrestling scene, and we had a real good chat with them. And we now know that the ladies are back in training. We're hoping to get some little catch-ups with them as we go on and hopefully feature that next month. But as we are here today, we are going to talk about all the things that we have missed. And there has been some serious goings-on in the world of professional wrestling over the last 6 to 7 weeks. We're going to talk the WWE pay-per-views that we have all seen and enjoyed. We're going to talk NXT. We're going to touch on some AEW bits. The Thunderdome is now a thing. There's been some controversy with that as well, which I'm sure we'll touch on. But we will jump straight in with the biggest party of the summer, which for many people who work in hospitality, like ourselves, it's not really been a party this summer due to the Out to Help Out scheme. Thank you for that one. But WWE SummerSlam. WWE SummerSlam happened in the old Thunderdome, and a quick rundown of the events there before we jump in. Apollo Crews defeated MVP to retain his United States title with the Hurt Business barred from ringside. Bayley retained the SmackDown Women's title in a great match with Asuka. The Street Profits, who are hands down my favourite tag team at the minute, defeated Angel Garza and Andrade to retain the Raw titles. Mandy Rose banished Sonya Deville from WWE forever, which is probably not forever. It's probably the Women's Royal Rumble. That's the yes, it is. The only reason she lost. She's not going to be in Retribution.
No.
Seth Rollins beat Dominic Mysterio in a street fight, which
that was so.
That surprised me. I wasn't sure where that was going. Arguably, the second biggest thing of the night was Asuka beating Sasha Banks to get a Raw Women's title back. Drew going over Randy, of course, to keep his WWE title. The Fiend destroying Bray Wyatt to win the Universal title, which, of course, set up the return of the big dog. Roman Reigns speared the living piss out of everybody and then beat Strowman with a chair mercifully to turn heel, which is what he should have done when he beat The Undertaker years and years ago.
They should have done that after the 2015 Royal Rumble.
Yeah, just
turn him heel there. Anyway, they've done it now.
But it's WWE, innit? We've got it from them. That's all we needed.
We got it 5 years later than we asked for it. Which, to be fair, going off what that, I'm all right with it.
Yeah, I mean, long-term story planning, they say WWE don't do. 5 years in the making this. We waited.
Not at all.
For me,
yeah.
No. The main talking points, I mean, I suppose we've got to start with Roman, who looks in damn good shape. Obviously, it's the first time we've seen Roman Reigns with him being immunocompromised. He's a great T.
Lovely T. Brand new T for a brand new big dog.
I'm glad that he's not wearing the harness anymore.
Yeah.
But the shield's gone, so get rid of it.
Yeah, the whole T-shirt and jeans being a heel just fits him a lot more. Can we just have some new music so it's not like Shield still?
Oh, I don't want to talk about. We're going to get onto new music because they have done a horrendous thing to Mr. Keith Lee.
I have not basked in any form of that music.
There is nothing to bask in. Carol Baskin. That's all I get from it.
I can't even Carol Baskin in it.
No, it's not. No, I'm not. Do you know what? I'm sorry. Sorry if you're watching, Carol. I apologise.
Yeah. You're watching, big time listener.
Gosh, it is. The Fiend beating Mr. Strowman was probably. I think you could see that coming. I think.
Yeah. I genuinely think Braun won it because Roman wasn't there, and they had to get it off Goldberg. So I'm not mad about Braun having it. I just think it was wasted. I think had Braun turned heel, I think it would have been better. But I think they originally always planned for it to go back to The Fiend. I think Roman would have lost to The Fiend at SummerSlam had we not had this whole situation.
Yeah.
That's what I'd have.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, no, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think, the match, to be fair, Bray Wyatt is really underrated, I feel, for putting some of the bigger guys over. I think he made Braun look better than a lot of other people did, and I've done in the past. We're talking about big fellas. Drew McIntyre, who the more I see him on TV, obviously he's not there because he's got a fracture to his jaw or whatever. I feel like the Roman Reigns in Drew McIntyre now.
Yeah.
Like this top baby face.
The way that he beat Brock, I still have an issue with because it was the exact same way Strowman beat Goldberg, literally 24 hours before.
Copy and paste, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was just, that works for that one, so we'll do it again. Anyway. 6 months ago now, who cares? Had Drew had a crowd, I think it'd be different. I think Drew feeds off crowds a lot better than he does, where he's trying to be funny but serious, and he's literally talking to the cameraman. Where in a crowd, he's got a bit more interaction. I don't think he's the best promo. I think he's nowhere near the best promo.
You can tell it's uber scripted. I feel you can tell he's
scripted with him.
Yeah,
but that's just the way that WWE do it. That they want this top baby face. I mean, look at how scripted Roman was for so long. Apart from this suffering succotash, I've still never.
Oh, I would like.
I never know if I
to
can
believe.
swear on this, so I just don't. I just try and believe myself. Oh, it was fucking awful then.
Yeah, there we go. That's absolutely fine. I agree with you. I think who's going to be the man to take it off him? At Night of Champions, are we going to see Randy get the belt again? I think they've made him number one contender again now. We've seen that this Monday on Raw.
I kind of see Randy taking it off him, and then kind of Drew's not there until the crowd's there again. Because look at the reaction that Drew got at the Rumble when he won. It was like, holy shit, he's won. Like, there's a miracle. And now it's kind of, we don't want him anymore. So I think I can see Randy doing it because this is the best Randy we've had for.
It is.
For years.
It is. Do we think, I'm getting a little bit, it's a bit further down the line. Obviously, we don't know how bad Edge's injury is. And I think the man-child that is locked inside of me, it's not, I just am that man-child.
Yeah.
I think it's just a case of, I feel like Edge is going to come back probably at the Rumble, and he's probably going to win it, and we're going to get Edge and Randy at WrestleMania.
Number 3 that would be, wouldn't it?
Yes, that'd finish it off, and I could maybe see Edge taking the belt there and then probably dropping it not long after that. He's something I could steer into.
I don't know how I feel about another part-timer taking the belt again.
Yeah, no.
I'd rather keep it on full-time. At least, you know what, Randy's had years where I've been like, oh my God, you are a boring individual.
Yes.
And now he's doing something where he's actually getting to be a proper heel, not this shit heel that he's been where he's like, oh, I'm better than you and you've not done this. Yep. He's actually kicking people in the head again.
He is. Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, another one. If you are watching, why did you do Randy dirty like that?
Yeah,
why, Shawn?
I mean, Randy was kicking like Linda McMahon in the head.
Yes.
Yeah. Kissing Stephanie and all that when she was knocked out. And like, that was proper heel on Randy Orton with the skinhead. Yeah. That was great.
Yeah. Welcome back, Randy.
Yeah. Thank you for being relevant again. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, we say that though, but Randy will still go down as one of the best ever. After 13-time champion now.
Yes, he is. And I think could he be, is he going to be the next one? He's the only person who's going to come close, I feel, if not beating Ric Flair. I think the addition to Ric Flair with him for a short period was a little bit of a nod because of the numbers that AEW were doing and some of the guys that they're using now. That was definitely one of those things I feel. And there's a couple of, got a nice little a dream, and I can confirm we're actually recording this on Friday. The date escapes me, but it is not AEW. AEW All Out has not happened yet.
No, that's
this may go out tomorrow night. I am going to fantasy book and tell you exactly who and how the new 4 Horsemen are going to appear tomorrow night.
All right.
The new 4 Horsemen will appear in AEW tomorrow night, and I've got a little bit of an outside name for that one. A couple of other things to touch on for SummerSlam. I'm going to leave Apollo Crews retaining the title for now, because I have got, he says, slowly disappearing, and now he's back. I have got a little bit of something I want to talk about Monday Night Raw. Obviously, Asuka getting the Raw Women's title back, I think is a good move. Mandy Rose banishing Sonya Deville to becoming part of a group, or maybe, who knows.
I think a lot of that was more down to everything that had happened at home life.
Yeah, definitely.
The absolute idiot that tried to break into her house. I vaguely know what happened, so I don't want to go too much into it. It's obviously it's not to go into.
It's not.
That is definitely one of the reasons why.
Yeah, I think she needed a little bit of time away. I think, and I understand that. Although it's at one point I was worried that they was going to make it into a storyline.
Yeah,
because obviously when it then broke that WWE tried to keep it quiet for as long as they possibly could, but when it broke that the person that was with her at her home at the time of the kidnapping was actually Mandy Rose.
Yeah,
I thought they was going to try and make it a weird thing with either Tucker or it's his tag team partner or something like that. I was a little bit worried. I mean, we'll get into it a little bit when we talk NXT TakeOver 30, the Adam Cole, Pat McAfee debacle.
Just a quick note on that. You know how Mandy was at home with Sonya at the time?
Yes.
You know what Jim Cornette said?
Oh, come on.
Twat. He basically just turned around and went, they're killing kayfabe. Mandy should never have admitted she was there. They're ruining the storyline. They're not making it real.
Fuck off, Jim.
Yeah, fuck off.
Fuck off, Jim Cornette.
You have no idea about modern wrestling anymore. You think that kayfabe is still a real thing, and you're pissed off that everyone's got Twitter. You know.
And then he gives people shit on Twitter for just do you know what? I'm going to say on behalf of Colomania, fuck you, Jim Cornette.
Fuck you, Jim Cornette.
I think, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is obviously Dominic Mysterio's debut was incredible. Mad love for Dominic. I think what he's doing is really, really good. And obviously he's gone on to have another couple of matches, which I'm sure we'll be able to get a little bit of Dominic stuff in as we go on. The Street Profits, I think the tag team division on Raw is a little bit stale at the minute. But I do think that will be rectified with something else that we'll get into a little bit later on. The last thing I'm going to touch on from the pay-per-view is Apollo Crews retained the US title, of course, beating MVP with the rest of the Hurt Business barred from ringside. I really like the idea of the Hurt Business. I weren't sold on it at first, but I am now. And also, may God strike me down where I sit, Raw Underground is brilliant. It is brilliant. I love Shane. I love the no ropes on the ring. I love Babatunde's new name, like Dabakato or whatever he's called. He's incredible. The fact that they've brought Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir in is incredible. I love it. I am an advocate for Raw Underground.
It's more to the point that Shane McFucking-Man is in it. I can't stand Shane McMahon.
Yeah, but what we're all forgetting is Shane McMahon is the best in the world. He's the best in the world. So,
why is he underground? Why is he not jumping off things?
Because it's underground. So he'll find something to jump. He's Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
He'll jump off Dabakato's shoulders.
You can see where Shane got it from. Have you seen that footage of Vince jumping off the WrestleMania sign?
Yeah, showing the Rob Gronkowski, this is how you do it. See?
This is how you really do it, lads. What is 70, you mad bastard? Chill out.
It's Vince. He can't write storylines for shit, but he can jump off stuff like that. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Fair play to him. So, SummerSlam, done, dusted, ticked off. It gets a thumbs up from me. I thought it was a good show. I really enjoyed it. The one thing I definitely want to get my teeth into that we're going to transition into right now, it's my favourite weekly television show. Only just now because AEW is creeping up on it massively. But let's talk NXT. NXT TakeOver 30. Superb. Absolutely superb. We opened up with Breezango going over to become the number one contenders for the NXT tag team titles, beating Oni Locke and Danny Burch, and Legado de Fantasma, which is, of course, Raul Mendoza.
So much better than I'd have ever been able to say that.
And see, there we go. Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, and of course, the man Santos Escobar, which is such a WWE name. Probably the sexiest man in wrestling right now, because if I said sexiest woman, we'd get in trouble. Yep. Finn Balor beat Timothy Thatcher.
Good,
Damien Priest, for the ladder match that Damien Priest won. Damn, he beat some big names in that as well.
John on Velveteen Dream in there. It's always going to be.
See now, that second name that you mentioned, I'm not going to mention.
We won't mention everything about him, but if you just singled him as a wrestler,
as a wrestler, as a name, yes. Do I think he deserves to be on WWE TV right now? Hell no. No, he doesn't. He's got a lot to answer to. But of course, Damien Priest won that ladder match. For me, it was on an equal level with the very first North American title ladder match.
No, not even. It was. if the first one was a five star according to Big Dave, this wasn't. I don't believe in Dave's ratings. I don't think it's just a one man's opinion. But I genuinely think the first one was better than that one. This one was very good.
It was good. It was good.
When EC3 looks that good in a WWE ring, you know it's a good match.
Yeah, fair dues. Do you know what? Yeah, I back down. It was the second best ladder match for the North America title. Adam Cole beat Pat McAfee.
This was better than it had any right to be.
It was better. I mean,
it shouldn't have been anywhere like that. But Pat
should not have been.
This.
He did. He surprised me. Pat surprised me.
Oh,
but there was only ever going to be.
Cole is just that good.
Yeah, is he? Do you know what? This is the thing. Adam Cole is. Well, I don't know. We'll get on to Adam Cole. He feeds in again later on. Some of these transitions are only seamless.
Yeah.
Io Shirai retaining over Dakota Kai. The fact that Io Shirai won the belt In Your House was incredible. I think Io Shirai is probably the best female performer that WWE have got right now.
Close.
Well, yeah, with Becky being out at the minute, and of course closely beating out Asuka as well for that title. And then I suppose the biggest takeaway, and then like sour note, was Karrion Kross defeating Keith Lee for the NXT title. Obviously, finding out that he was then injured after it did leave a little bit of upset. But even still, for me, I feel that the character and that I feel like Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux could have a run on a par with Triple H and Stephanie on the main roster.
Yeah.
I don't think we have seen a power couple like these two since Triple H and Stephanie.
No, I don't. I can't. Nothing springs to mind at all.
And it's not just the fact that they're married outside of wrestling. I just think that the way that the characters work are incredible. I am pining for just because I think the styles would match up so well, and it's never ever going to happen. Either a WrestleMania, and something at WrestleMania, or even back in NXT. Karrion Kross comes back from injury at a takeover. He has his big grand entrance, and he challenges anybody to a match. And we get the original Shinsuke Nakamura music. Shinsuke to come down. Just those two entrances on a takeover. Incredible strong style. The neck stuff, the suplexes. Yeah. It'd be incredible. But of course, Karrion Kross took the title from Keith Lee in what was up there with probably one of the best matches from NXT this year, I'd say. Yeah. Some really good things.
That Karrion Kross is brilliant. Like I said, we have not seen anywhere near what he is actually capable of.
No, we haven't.
The one against Ciampa was more just, look how hard I am, this is how good I am.
Yeah, it was.
Anything he's done on NXT since has just kind of been, I'm destroying people, I'm a real threat. I genuinely don't know if he'll go back to NXT. I think he'll go straight to the main roster, because it'll just be someone in the ring, say like Seth Rollins, when he's probably turned face again by the time Kross is back.
Yeah.
And he's holding, I don't know, he's probably got the IC title. I'm just...
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Here, and then all of a sudden that music will hit, people will lose their minds, because it'll be Karrion Kross on the main roster. And it'll be when fans are back. But yeah, he's not been back for a while. And I think
I can see
bigger
that.
shame is when Balor had to give up the title the night after winning it at
and it's the same injury as well.
Yeah,
the exact same injury, a dislocated shoulder. So he's going to be out for a while. I think moving him straight up to the main roster would be a good shout.
Yeah,
but I think they're going to have to. This apparently, when he agreed his contract, they said to him that they're going to propel him. They're going to push him hard straight away. And then obviously speaking of pushes, that then saw Keith Lee being pushed onto the main roster. An incredible debut for me, for Keith Lee as well, apart from that god-awful music. And they've changed what he was. Why? Just let Keith Lee be Keith Lee.
Yeah.
So I think NXT at the minute, the landscape of NXT has definitely changed. Between TakeOver and Super Tuesday, Breezango actually beat Imperium to win the NXT tag team titles as well, which I thought was a good move.
Not overly sure. I really like Imperium, but I think it's not Imperium isn't the same without Volta. So I think they're kind of waiting for Volta to be back because, again, dream booking. We know we have the Fatal 4-Way. We know the match that's going to happen after that. When Volta comes back, does he? Indeed. Yeah, I'll let you go through. There we go. No, that's good. That's good. I like it. But as you know what, we've got to this point. We are exactly halfway through our review of the big four shows that have gone on. So we're going to give everyone a couple of minutes. And I want you guys to pay a little bit of attention to this next advert from someone else, incredibly, who is part of the TTYL network. And they're going to be telling you about one of the other incredible podcasts that we turn out.
Hi, I'm Matt and this is Matt. We're both 30-somethings and we're fighting the good fight against constant threats of incoming midlife crisis. If you're in the same boat, or if you just enjoy other people's confusion and suffering, why not get involved? Join us as we stumble through the big questions like, why do my hangovers last a week now? And how music's been getting steadily worse since I was 20 years old, and that is a stone cold fact.
But that's not it. We want you to get involved. Why not get in touch? You might be able to suggest a topic of discussion, if you have any worries about ageing, or any funny stories that you have related to turning 30. You can email us at thatthingyouLikeUK@gmail.com or at any of the links below. Find the What's My Head Again podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Back with the second part of Colomania podcast. Of course, we have just talked SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver 30 myself and Mr. James Matthews. So we are rolling straight into WWE Payback, which literally came a week after. I didn't realise the pay-per-view. It was just like, oh, it's Payback. And then I was scrolling through Twitter and I was thinking, oh, they've announced things for the pre-show. That's early. It's tonight. So that were it. It was another literally out of the kitchen, shower, pint, phone, out, watching it.
Yeah.
So, to quickly go over Payback, the Riot Squad defeated the Iconics. Bobby Lashley, with the Hurt Business at ringside this time, can I just add, beat Apollo Crews to become the US champion. We then saw maybe a bit of a heel turn for Apollo after that match. Arguably, the best push right now in WWE. Big E Langston defeating Sheamus. Clean as a whistle. Honestly, push Big E to the moon. Send the man to the moon. I love him.
That's a big rocket to push that man to the moon.
It is a big old rocket. Maybe we could make a super rocket and him and Keith Lee could be in it because Keith Lee beat Randy Orton clean. Seamless transition.
That's so much. It's a big fucking rocket.
It's a big mother flipping rocket. Matt Riddle, of course, beating King Corbin. I'm not sure what they're doing with Matt Riddle right now. I don't.
What's his character anymore?
I don't. He's like a shit Rob Van Dam.
Yeah. They are destroying him. I loved him on it.
They've main rostered him, haven't they? They've main rostered him. It's awful. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, opposites attract, is what their tag team should be called. Won the War Women's title. Jonathan Ross now. The women's tag team.
We have no idea what to do with one really talented and one really accident-prone Steva. Christ, can't. Women's wrestling. We don't know what to do with these two, so we're just going to put them in a tag team.
Yeah, it's very, very weird. I'm not. Maybe they've put them together so that Nia Jax can't injure Shayna Baszler.
Maybe.
She injures everybody else.
It's going to be Asuka and Shayna Baszler, but anyway.
Yes. The Family Mysterio defeated Seth and Murphy. And then, as we saw on SmackDown the week before, the newest Paul Heyman guy, Mr. Roman McReigns, became the new Universal Champion. That was obviously coming.
He never lost
it. He never lost it.
I
He
genuinely
did never lose it.
I hadn't watched the SmackDown before I heard about this, so I didn't even know what was happening. And I kept going on Twitter, and I kept seeing things about Roman Reigns, and I could picture with Paul Heyman, like, who's superimposed that? Where's this from?
No,
And then
I
when
remember watching.
I saw the clip, and I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And then I saw the footage from Payback, and I was like, this is mental. Also, that's not how contracts work, but...
No, it's not.
It's not. Contracts don't work like that. But either way, the fact that Reigns is now a Paul Heyman guy or just a heel, I don't know what he is. Is Paul Heyman his advocate like he was with CM Punk?
Yes. Same with Brock Lesnar. I think that's exactly how the deal works. But for me as well, I find it very interesting. The AJ Styles moved brands because of Paul Heyman. Yeah. And now Heyman's over there. Apparently, I've seen an article today that AJ said, it's water under the bridge and he doesn't mind. I don't believe that.
It's down to the Gallows and Anderson thing, wasn't it?
It was due to Gallows and Anderson. Gallows and Anderson, who, do you know what? We'll touch on it briefly. At Impact Wrestling have made some incredible signings.
Yeah.
Impact Wrestling have just made Eric Young their new world champion. He won the world title on Thursday night, I believe, or maybe Tuesday night. Eric Young was like a jobber on Main Event 6 months ago. And it's upsetting because Eric Young, when he was the leader of Sanity in NXT, was incredible.
Yeah.
I think what Impact Wrestling are doing, to be fair, shout out to Impact Wrestling. I watched their Slammiversary pay-per-view. I think the way that they are building some of these guys, they have got a bit of a reputation for signing previous WWE superstars. I like what they're doing with Heath Slater. Not a fan of what they're doing with Brian Myers, or formerly known as Kurt Hawkins. I think the Gallows and Anderson thing will work because they've clearly signed a deal with New Japan once the travel restrictions are over. I think we'll see a lot more of those guys over in New Japan. EC3, he's on a little bit of a warpath to try and become the TNA World Champion because Moose brought that back for some unbeknown reason.
Yeah, this is why I struggle with Impact because I don't really know many of the people. And you say they sign mostly the ex-WWE people. That's because WWE sign everybody. And then go,
yes, they do.
These people, what do we do with them all? Oh, we'll put them on Main Event, and they've gone now.
Yeah, it's strange.
But then furlough and fire loads of people. Anyway.
They do, which hopefully rumours are saying that. I mean, I enjoyed NXT with Wade Barrett on commentary. I think that's brilliant.
Gone.
But Mauro Ranallo is my dream. My fantasy 3 people on commentary are Mauro, Jim Ross, and Renee Young.
Yeah.
WWE have got none of them now.
No.
But all I am saying is JR is in AEW, Renee Young is now left, and Mauro's out there. I am Tony Khan, Fulham owner and AEW majority shareholder Tony Khan. If you are listening, make that shit happen, bro. Please. Bring them home. Anyway, we are going to talk about, for me, the big things to come from Payback. Apart from Roman Reigns being a Paul Heyman guy, the current push that Big E is getting. Yeah. Where do you think this is going to get him? What do you think is coming?
There's 2 ways they're going to do it. He's going to win the US title. I don't see him going on to. He's not going to face Roman because they're not going to do that. They're not going to just kill him straight away. I don't know how long it is until Kofi's back. So whether they're going to do Kofi's back soon, so all of a sudden Big E's just back to be a tag team. And then he kind of goes, I don't want to be a tag team person anymore, and just annihilates Kofi and just does the whole heel, I'm going by myself now. Or whether they just go back to going, right, that was nice. You can go back to being the New Day now because you make us lots of monies.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've asked that question because it will feed into something that we're going to talk about in the wrap-up at the end because I've got a little bit of a theory on that one. And also, while we're talking of pushes, Keith Lee beat Randy Orton clean at a pay-per-view, and then the very next night doesn't win a match to get him a number 1 contender shot. So where does Keith Lee go now?
I'm going back to him not winning the title shot. It's probably too early because if you put him up against Drew, Drew's not going to drop the title to him.
No, he's not.
No.
It'll be a transitional champion if Keith Lee's going to beat anybody.
Yeah, so it has to be Randy Orton. So they've actually done it quite well where Keith Lee's got the big, you beat a 13-time world champion, you beat Randy Orton.
Yeah.
but we're not going to feed you to Drew because then we will just kill your push. So you can kind of just be like an upper mid-carder for now until we decide what to do with you. Maybe if Drew isn't going to be in the main event picture, maybe Keith Lee will pick up with Randy Orton.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, I suppose it does plant the seeds there for that moving forward.
They're going to have to find a way something to do with Seth now. Sure, the Seth and Rey Mysterio thing's over with. We're not going to get another Seth and Dominic match, I don't think.
No.
I'd be surprised anyway. So there's a lot of places that they could go. I'd be all right with Keith and Seth Rollins, to be honest.
I would be. I'd like that. I would also, the thing that what I think may happen, and where I think they'll go next with Keith Lee, I feel like he's going to come out maybe, and, well, maybe Seth, maybe there could be something there with Seth. I think Seth could maybe try and recruit him and it not go so well. The biggest thing for me on Raw at the minute is the mystery behind Aleister Black. You know, he seems to have had a bit of a heel turn now, and he's attacked Kevin Owens a couple of times. Aleister Black could be up there for a title shot, I feel. I think Aleister Black deserves one. I think he's one of the most underrated and underutilised talents on the Raw roster.
Look at him in NXT. He was brilliant in NXT, as most of the people are, because they do.
Yeah, everybody's brilliant in NXT. I mean, Ricochet. What is Ricochet doing now? Where is Ricochet?
He was on main event against Cedric Alexander in the main event of main event. That was the last I saw of him. Remember, that was the guy who had a title shot against Brock this year.
Oh yeah, he was and weirdly, him and Bobby Lashley both went to Saudi Arabia, and Ricochet stopped wearing tights and started wearing Lashley shorts, and Lashley started wearing tights. Go back, Ricochet.
Yeah.
Don't wear shorts anymore.
Also, we mentioned people not being in WWE. Brock no longer is under contract.
I don't believe it. If Brock Lesnar is not under contract, he will turn up at All Out tomorrow night.
Really?
Done. Yeah.
That would be insane if he just destroyed John Moxley.
Just destroys Mox. Just turns up, destroys Mox, leaves. That's it.
Yeah. I think a lot of if he isn't under contract, it's because he doesn't want to travel at the moment because he's still in Canada, where he lives. So he's like, I'm not traveling down to Orlando to go and negotiate a contract. And really, WWE don't need him at the moment.
No, they don't.
Because there's no crowds to pay these big money to come see him.
They only need him when he's a draw, when they can attract that money in. That's the only time that they're going to need Brock.
Royal Rumble's a few, 6 months away now. No, it's not even that, is it?
Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah, I like Rumble. Best one of the year.
I think we're going to also, just slightly off topic, we are going to try and I think the Royal Rumble will be the first Colemania pay-per-view live stream. We're going to try and get a group of us together and raise a bit of awareness and do some bits of stuff for that. So that'll be fun. Keep your eyes out for that one, people.
Yeah. Rumble will be good for that one.
Rumble will be good. I think it'll be nice. A good little get-together and get multiple people on and try and get some people like in on Zoom at random points and stuff. That's something we're going to look at. So if anybody who is listening to this who fancies it, if you want to be there on the night, if you want to be part of it, where to find us, let us know. We're going to be there. Transitioning.
Yeah, going back to Brock, that's when he's going to... They're not going to do anything for Brock until Rumble and Mania now, because realistically, Survivor Series is not going to have a crowd. Realistically, it might have a very small crowd, like AEW are doing at the moment. Yeah. But I don't see a real wrestling crowd until next year. It's just not...
I would like to see Brock come back and Keith Lee eliminated from the Rumble and Brock versus Keith Lee at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's a big match.
That's a
big lads, that.
Yeah, give me that. Can you imagine? I think if that match happened at WrestleMania, Vince's dick would explode. I think is it the Keith Lemon movie where Kelly Brook takes her clothes off and he just goes and he's like, that's Vince in Gorilla when Keith Lee and Brock Lesnar are just going at it.
Just these massive grapefruits just fucking all over. Kevin Dunn is just covered in fucking
he's covered in McMahon juice. We will. It's not nice. It's not. We're going to quickly talk about NXT Super Tuesday. Obviously, this is something that coincides with the presidential debates that are going on over in America and the voting. We saw a 60-minute Iron Man match, which, for me, is I'd mentioned earlier about the Karrion Kross and Keith Lee match. This 60-minute Ironman match, Fatal 4-Way Ironman match, is the second best match in NXT history. Only just second to the Cole and Gargano, the 2 out of 3 falls match, which I thought was on it. Still, I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about that match. It was absolutely incredible. The scores ended with Finn Balor on 2, Adam Cole on 2, Ciampa and Gargano 1 each. Next week we will get Finn Balor against Adam Cole to get a definitive NXT champion. It ties in nicely with a question that we got from a good friend of not just the Colemania podcast, but the TTYL Network channel itself, Mr. Danny Martinez. Hello, Danny. I hope you are well, sir. You've been on this pod before. You've starred in the MCU pod. You've also got your own podcast as well, which are incredible. You can find Danny on Twitter at Echo Spider, which is ECKO Spider. And Danny has actually asked us who we think will win the NXT title next week and who the next challenger for that title will be. James, who do you think goes over and who then challenges?
I honestly think it'll be Balor. I just don't see it being Cole just yet. I don't think Cole's going to win it again for a while. After having it for like over a year, 300 or however many days it ended up being. Balor, I think he's going to do it. And then genuinely, I think his next challenger, it all depends on what Walter's situation is going to be. As I said before, so I didn't even know the question.
You did.
Kind of ruined myself there. But if it just depends, I think, a lot on Walter, because they were building to that at NXT UK Takeover Dublin.
Yes.
That was going to be the main event of Balor versus Walter, which feed me that all day long. I want to see Walter literally chop Balor's abs out.
Yes, cut them out one by one.
You know, like an alien when it just comes out. That's what I imagine is going to happen.
Brilliant. I mean, for me, the WWE have kept really well. I mean, on the Super Tuesday, we saw the set in the BT Sports studios that they've set up for the next rank of NXT UK tapings, which have been kept so secretive. Obviously, the Walter thing, is he going to travel? Is he not? I agree. I feel that Finn Balor will win. I do think he'll win. And speaking of UK title holders, it's actually a former UK title holder. I feel that Finn Balor will be jumped by the Undisputed Era. And I think a returning Pete Dunne will make an appearance. And when Finn is and I think, he's going to help Finn Balor, Finn will win the title and he'll turn on Finn. And I think we'll get a double turn. The crowd love
the face.
Yes. I think the crowd love Pete Dunne. Whenever he's been on NXT, any NXT takeover, they go wild for him. We know he's a pet project to Triple H's.
Yeah.
We also know that he's in America. We know that he's there. So I think Pete Dunne is going to be the next man to challenge for the NXT title. I think Walter's a damn good shout. I think we'll probably see the title change hands at these set of NXT UK taping. I don't know who could take that unless as a bit of a wild card, and I'm not sure because of his name being put to. And it's important that we say, these a lot of things have been said, things have been proven. In some cases, things have been denied. Everybody has the right to have their own opinion on things. I think the only person who could probably take that UK title off Walter would be Jordan Devlin.
Yeah.
Jordan Devlin was the Cruiserweight champion, and then obviously it was changed. WWE was quite quickly to change it from an interim champion to a full-time champion. Tyler Bate would also be a good choice for that, I think.
I see Tyler Bate as the only realistic one. I think, like you said, the stuff with Devlin, I think there's
could be too soon.
Yeah, I genuinely think it is. I kind of do see Tyler Bate as being the only realistic one. I mean, Tyler Bate has beaten him in other promotions.
Yes.
ICW and all them. He's done it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't even know if Walter would lose it. I don't think there's any real reason for him to lose it at the moment.
My worry is that they're going to fuse the titles together and maybe have a champion versus champion match if they're going to go down that route with Finn and Walter. And I think Finn would then Finn will take the title from Walter. Because, you know, it's fairly well known within the wrestling community that Walter doesn't want to like put up with the long-term travel schedules and things like that. And he doesn't want to really move to America. And I can see now that WWE have kind of behind closed doors, it's already been said that we know that they've bought out Evolve. There's talks ongoing with Progress now that they've had to change their hierarchy. WXW over in Germany, which was probably Walter helped put that on the map. I think Walter would kind of maybe stay European-based, and then they can use Finn as a cross-branded champion, and they can use that then also as a way to bring over talent. Ridge Holland has been showcased on NXT TV for the last few weeks. Strange for me, because real name Luke Menzies actually played rugby against him. Luke went pro, and he played for Dewsbury, he plays for a couple of other teams as well. That man folded me like a Blackpool deck chair once on a field. And it's weird watching him perform on NXT. And the few shows that he's had recently, as they've changed him, because as he's under his own name, they were a bit of a jobber on NXT TV, and then they rebranded him, put him on NXT UK, and then he's come back over. Some of his showings have been incredible. I feel like he may actually be next in line for a shot at Damian Priest, because they had a real good match on NXT TV. But I think they could then use it to enhance some of the UK talent, bringing them over to America and kind of getting them used to that big audience. I know it flopped a little bit when they had Mustache Mountain, didn't quite get over the way that they wanted them to. I feel it kind of worked a little bit better for Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. They seem to get over a little bit more. But
Mustache
I think
got over a bit more than you're thinking. The problem was that they were against Undisputed Era. They
exactly
were the most over faction going. So I don't think.
Agreed. I agree with you there. I do. I'll give you that. And I think, to be fair, talking Undisputed Era, I mean, we've covered a lot of the big things. We'll stick with WWE and NXT while we go over a couple of things that I've got down here. Undisputed Era. Adam Cole's not going to win this title. Where do Undisputed Era pop up? Do you want to see him on Raw, or do you want to see him on SmackDown? Do you want to see him stay in NXT?
I want to see him stay in NXT. I honestly don't see the point of them. What if they go to Raw and SmackDown? What are they going to do? He's not going to. Adam Cole is not going to face Roman Reigns. He's not going to face Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton. He's not going to do either of those. I don't want to see Adam Cole go after Jeff Hardy / Sami Zayn, whoever the technical champion is at the moment. I don't want to see him go after Bobby Lashley. I don't want to see Adam Cole wasted in a very weak tag team division.
Yeah.
The Viking Raiders, who should just be undefeatable at the moment, and literally haven't done anything. I just think they're wasted.
I think my worry is...
What do they do if they stay on NXT? What do they do there? Who is the...
Yeah, where do they go? Where do they go? I think
my attribution thing turns out to be Undisputed Era, which I don't want either.
I don't think they can do that now because of the way that they've portrayed them on TV and the amount of them they are. I don't think they'll do that. My worry is that we saw Apollo Crews turn heel. My worry is that Apollo Crews now decides,
and with the
over the next few weeks, he's going to join the Hurt Business, and then they're trying to dominate, and then the Undisputed Era then go against them. Something I don't want to see. I do feel that MVP and Shelton Benjamin will take the tag titles from the Street Profits. I think that's only a matter of time. I think it will come, and they'll kind of be happy to be this mid-card faction. And I think that would water down. And I think
definitely deserves better than that.
He does.
I'm not saying it should be a main eventer at all, but I still believe that he should be a bit better than that.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I feel that's what the Undisputed Era will be pushed into. They've always been this heel faction that are incredibly over with the crowd. And I think the Hurt Business running roughshod on Raw, and then the Undisputed Era music dropping with a crowd.
Yeah,
it needs a crowd.
The Undisputed Era have to debut on, if they are going to debut on Raw and SmackDown, it's not a call-up, is it? It's a debut.
No, it's a debut.
It has to be in a live crowd because people have to hear that shock the system.
Yeah, they do.
And they can't do it otherwise. It just won't. It won't be anywhere effective. Same as, like we said, when Drew won the title, it just wasn't effective.
Yeah, it wasn't the same.
Nobody there to lose the mind.
No, it wasn't the same. Talking of groups and call-ups, let's talk Retribution. I feel that WWE spoiled it a little bit by putting a tweet out saying that a new group will debut tonight and they are after. And I didn't like the burning of generators and the Nexus-esque cutting of ropes and all that type of thing. Yeah. It's now coming out.
Now they're only exclusive to Raw.
They're going to be Raw exclusive. So that then,
so hopefully for me...
No, they can't, because it's just Monday Night Raw who they hate. From the images of people that we have seen on television and the things we've read into it, it looks like you can next to confirm that Dominik Dijakovic is one of the members. Mia Yim is also one of them. Chelsea Green, I also feel is a member of Retribution. If we're going to talk about possible leaders of the faction, who do you feel is the leader of Retribution? Who do you think it's anything to do with the Hacker? And also,
what's the Hacker was a bad idea. That didn't last very long. I think they realised this is stupid. With regards to Retribution, I honestly have zero idea where it's going to go, what they're going to do with it. I don't see. There needs to be a reason. So one of them needs to talk, whether that, like the muffled voice kind of thing, where they do what we're doing it. Because at the moment, it's just rinse and repeat. We're coming in, we're disrupting, we're going. And it's not even like a consistent amount of what they're doing. They're not week by week getting worse. One week, they're literally cutting up the ring, and the next week, they're threatening people with a chair. Yeah, it's just I don't know what the thinking behind it is.
I think we're going to get a classic WWE swerve. They've used twice now on television with parts of his arms being uncovered. They've used Dio Maddin, who was a commentator on Raw before Brock Lesnar annihilated him. And I genuinely feel like that's being used because I feel like maybe Kofi Kingston could be the leader of Retribution. And I think they're telling us that they're going to be exclusive to Raw as a bit of a red herring. I don't think they'll be exclusive. I think they're going to do whatever they want, which is good for the group. And I think that is how we will then get this battle between Kofi and Big E. Yeah. Maybe Retribution are going to sabotage a title match for Big E, and that's when we'll find out it's Kofi. And it then puts Xavier Woods in the middle of the two, and we end up maybe getting a triple threat come WrestleMania. I can see that possibly happening.
I like it. I just don't think Kofi is big enough to be the leader of that. What I genuinely thought originally was going to happen, it was going to be Reigns. I genuinely thought Reigns was going to gather people around him to take back what he wanted for the title. And I thought, and then when I heard about the Paul Heyman thing, all that, they could still do it. They could.
But I don't think it'd be as good. I don't think it'd be as good now.
They annihilated everybody and they ruined The Fiend and Strowman at SummerSlam. And then they're all stood over and he just takes the mask off. And
it's Reigns.
The mask off and it's Reigns in the middle and it's got Dijakovic. It's got all these people around it. It'd be more effective.
Yeah.
But now I just feel like it's going to run out of steam, this Retribution thing, very quickly unless something changes.
Yeah. No. I can see that. I think it was, again, a little bit of a slapdash panic attempt from WWE to try and inject some freshness into television. Mainly because of the numbers that AEW are doing and the things that are happening over in AEW with the groups, the amount. If you look at the factions that they've got in AEW,
the Elite,
the new you've got the Elite who have which again we'll swerve into that. So we've got the Elite, we've got Jurassic Express, we've got the Dark Order, we've got the Inner Circle.
We've got the one with Pac and Phoenix Jr. and Pentagon.
Murder Triangle.
That's the one.
The Murder Triangle. Do you know what I mean? You look at the groups that they're putting together, and WWE have kind of gone, we can try to do this.
We've got Undisputed Era and Hurt Business, and
exactly.
Yeah, that's what.
Let's do it. Let's put another one together. The Robert Stone brand, which again, speaking of the Robert Stone brand, Rhea Ripley. What next for Rhea Ripley? Rhea Ripley is incredible. I don't think she's going to be part of Retribution because it won't fit.
No.
I don't think she's going to regain the NXT Women's title. So, I would like to see Charlotte Flair come back, maybe around Survivor Series time, because we know why she's taken time out for these surgeries. We know when she's going to be back. Let's bring Charlotte Flair back and let's have Charlotte Flair on SmackDown, I'd prefer, saying that she wants to come back and she's taking her title back and blah, blah, blah. And then Rhea Ripley come out and say, yeah, well, I beat you.
Mm.
And have Rhea Ripley come back that way. I think. Well, she beat her at WrestleMania, yeah, but Rhea, it just the longevity of Rhea beat her at Survivor Series last year. Yeah. So even if go down that route and give him a rematch again, do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't even be mad if it was Rhea that took it off Bayley to end Bayley's long run, and that's when Charlotte comes back and Rhea beats her again.
Yes.
I can go for that. Where Bayley has had this lovely long title run, but then it means we don't get Bayley and Sasha Banks, which is going. Maybe Sasha costs her the title against Rhea because she's bitter because she ain't got a title herself. Yeah, but then I suppose that doesn't even need a title. That
no, it doesn't. It doesn't need a belt. It doesn't need a belt.
Story to tell from NXT Brooklyn, was it the Iron Woman 30-minute match? That was fantastic.
Yes,
and all the
incredible
Boss Woman stuff. You know, that I don't know when that might happen, but they could somehow involve. Like that could be like the first appearance of Becky with her child or something when that match finally happens. Like Becky's in the crowd. That'd be a nice moment. You know,
maybe comes out at the end to congratulate her or whatever. That'd be really nice. I think. Now they've obviously
see Becky coming back at all.
Really? Do you not think she'll come back? I think we'll see Becky.
I think that she'll be happy to be probably a backstage person, like an ambassador.
Yeah, possibly.
She doesn't necessarily need to wrestle now. I mean,
she doesn't.
What is there left for her to do? She's the only person to defeat Ronda. She's already beaten Charlotte, Becky. She's beaten everybody.
Yep, she's won the Rumble.
Yeah.
But is it just Money in the Bank? That's the only thing. The Money in the Bank and the women's tag titles are the only things she hasn't held.
Has she not won the Money in the Bank?
I don't think Becky's won Money in the Bank. Carmella won the first, and then kind of the second, and then Bayley won it.
It's like the Jackass movies, 2 and 2.5. She won 1 and then 1.5.
Yeah, she did. And then Bayley won it, and then Asuka won it.
I'm having to look.
I'm sure Becky hasn't won Money in the Bank. I'm sure of that. I'm sure she's not won it. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I will take it on the chin. There we go.
One-time Raw Women's Champion, 3-time SmackDown, Women's Royal Rumble, Female Superstar of the Year, and Match of the Year in 2018 against Charlotte Flair at Evolution.
So she was never, ever an NXT Women's Champion either. So maybe let's feed that into me. Let me see Becky against Io Shirai. I'd be happy with that. Putting all WWE things to bed, I'll have a quick talk about AEW. Obviously, this weekend we see AEW All Out. The card for All Out is ridiculously stacked. That ridiculous that I haven't got it in front of me. I do know that some of the matches on there. I do know we're going to see FTR against Hang. Have you got the card? So you give us a rundown of that card.
Britt Baker versus Big Swole in a tooth and nail match, which is going to be a cinematic match.
Cinematic, yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in a Broken Rules match, which is basically last man standing. But I'm pretty sure WWE probably own the trademark to that.
Yes.
And if Hardy loses, he must leave AEW.
Which Matt Hardy will leave?
Yeah,
that's what I think they'll do there.
The Broken, is it going to be version 1? And I hope it's not version 1. So I quite like the little captions.
I do. I like it.
Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks. I'm not reading this off Wikipedia, by the way. Other websites are available. So it's the Dark Order, which is Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Colt Cabana in the Dark Order's weird.
Yes.
Versus Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares.
Yep.
The 21 Casino Battle Royal. Winner receives an AEW title match. So I'll go through it as quick as I can without spilling all my words. Darby Allin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, Butcher and the Blade, Eddie Kingston, Sean Spears, Billy, Austin Gunn, Jake Hager, Santana, Ortiz, Chuck Taylor, Trent, and then one that's not announced, which is not going to be Brock Lesnar.
Oh!
It's not going to be Brock Lesnar.
It's going to be an incredible surprise, and I'm going to tell you who it is right now. It's going to be the winner of it. It's Rusev.
You reckon?
Rusev is going to be that extra man.
My bet is Tessa Blanchard.
No, Tessa's coming to WWE. It's either going to be, it's good. No, sorry, actually, it's going to be Rusev or the person who I will reveal as part of my 4 horsemen spiel at the end of this.
Okay.
That's what I'll go with.
Then we've got what I think is going to be match of the night. Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus FTR.
Yes.
I cannot wait for that.
Yes.
That's going to be fantastic. And I also have a theory about that.
Okay, I have one as well, so this will be good to discuss.
So it could be a similar one. Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy in a Mimosa Mayhem.
Mimosa Mayhem. I fucking love Orange Cassidy.
And then the main event, well, I'm assuming is going to be the main event. Jon Moxley with MJF challenging for the title. Moxley is banned from using the Paradigm Shift as a finishing maneuver. So if he doesn't win the match with the Paradigm Shift, does it not count as a finishing move?
No, he's just not. He can't use that DDT, yeah.
From using his... Oh, yeah, I should probably just read it before skimming over. Yeah, so he can't use... So, yeah, Kenny Omega and Adam Page against FTR, I think is going to be match tonight.
100%.
I see Kenny Omega turning heel.
Yes, exactly.
Page. So FTR win. And then I see on Dynamite, Adam Page joining FTR for 3 parts of the 4 Horsemen. Because he's also been kicked out of the Elite, Adam Page.
He has been kicked out of the... But do you know why he's been kicked out of the Elite? Because it's a red herring. He has not listened. Adam Page has been kicked out of the Elite. I get that. I also agree that Kenny, because of AEW, I've started watching Being the Elite. Being the Elite is brilliant. Brody Lee is one of the funniest men alive.
He is a hilarious
Why Vince McMahon didn't like him, I don't know. But I've been watching Being the Elite, and at the end of the latest episode, we saw Kenny with the aviators on. He's going back to being the cleaner. The heel turn is coming. Yes, he will turn on Adam Page. Yes, FTR will win. FTR will win the tag team titles. Tully Blanchard will be there at ringside. We've got 2 of the 4. We will then see in the main event FTR attempt to help Jon Moxley.
No.
They're going to attempt to help Jon Moxley, and they're going to be fought off.
What, to help Jon Moxley?
And they're going to be like, but MJF. No, they're going to beat Jon Moxley down.
Right.
And
okay. I thought you meant they were going to beat MJF
to try and help.
Right.
So no, they're going to help MJF because earlier in the night, Wardlow is going to be attacked and he's not going to be able to come to ringside. So then, when they're trying to help Moxley, the Young Bucks are going to come down and level the playing field, which is weird because why would they help Moxley? But they don't like MJF for whatever reason. And then a hooded, dark, a masked figure will be in the ring.
Retribution.
They will, not Retribution. They will strike Jon Moxley with the title. MJF will get the 1, 2, 3. Tully Blanchard will stand in the ring with FTR, MJF, the new AEW World Champion, and the belt will be passed to MJF by the hooded figure, which will be revealed as Cody Rhodes, and the 4 Horsemen is born. The MJF Cody storyline has been built for so long. MJF turned on him far too soon, and it was all part of the plan. Cody lost a match against MJF that said if he lost, he could never fight for the world title ever again. He doesn't need to fight for the world title because he's there to protect his company's world title because MJF's the star. That's your 4 Horsemen. That's what they're going to do. They've done this Adam Page thing to try and switch people. Cody's been written off TV because he's lost the TNA title. Cody is the 4th man in the 4 Horsemen. And that's your group.
I see Cody being in the 4 Horsemen with Adam Page and FTR. I just don't. No. I don't know about the Cody and MJF thing. I mean,
it is. It's all too good to be true that Cody's going to help MJF win that title. That's your 4 Horsemen.
But I want to see. I'm just being selfish. I kind of want to see. What name? Kenny Omega and Cody. I want to see them 2 as a heel Kenny Omega, the 2 vice presidents. Well, they are the vice presidents. I don't know why I did the...
Yes.
The 2 vice presidents I want to
battle
see
each other.
Yeah, because I think that would be brilliant. But then I also want to see Moxley versus Kenny version 2 with Kenny as the full heel.
As the cleaner. Well, maybe that could happen. Maybe that's what it could be.
Full Gear to come this year, haven't they? And if it is going to be Full Gear, I don't know what it's. I don't think they've named it yet.
No, they did Full Gear over. Did they not do 2? No, they did. Full Gear was. Did they not do that over 2 nights as well as Fyter Fest?
No,
because
so
Full Gear was supposed
supposed
to be in England. Full Gear was supposed to be in England this year.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll bring that here next year.
Full Gear was the one that was after All Out last year.
Yes.
From November, because that's when it was Moxley and Kenny in that mental, non-sanctioned match.
Yeah, the lights out match, wasn't it? Or a lights out match.
Whatever non-WWE term they could come up with.
Yeah. Quick one on the Casino Battle Royal. Who wins a title shot? I'd like to see if the 21st man isn't Rusev or Cody, who was my other one. I would like to see. I mean, could be CM Punk, and I will pop my tits off. But I think I'd like to see Eddie Kingston win it.
Yeah. Honestly, purely from I want to see it happen. I'd quite like Pentagon or Ray Phoenix or someone like that. Yeah,
I love them guys.
Yeah, I think they're fantastic, and I think that the trial of Pentagon versus Moxley, if Moxley retains, would just be brilliant.
Is Pac the number 21?
Pac could be.
Is Pac going to make his return?
Here?
I think he could. We don't know where he's been. Very, very quiet with social media and stuff. It could be Pac.
It could be Pac. Pac, I'll be happy if Pac won it. There's nobody there that stands out. It's not going to be Lance Archer. I feel like they've kind of ruined Lance Archer now.
They have.
So maybe
it's not going to be Brian Cage. Brian Cage has had his shot.
Well,
he was the big surprise last time. So he won the.
A year ago.
No, it wasn't. It was.
That was Double or Nothing.
Adam Page. Yeah, Adam Page won this last year.
Did he?
Yeah, Adam Page won it, and then he lost to Chris Jericho.
I thought they had the match for the first title.
Yeah, that's how Adam Page got into it, by winning the Casino Battle Royal.
Oh, and Jericho just got it because it was Jericho.
And Jericho got it because he beat Kenny Omega.
Yes, sorry. Yes, now you've reminded me.
But then also, could it be the first part of a working relationship with AEW and New Japan? Could we see Kazuchika Okada?
That would be insane.
Could we see Okada? Could we see Tetsuya Naito, who's just lost the IWGP World Title? Could we see Jay White? The other name is that no one else has seemed to talk about from the Kenta. It could be Kenta. The name that no one's talking about, who seems to have gone very under the radar. We're also going to get to see, and I don't think it was a match you mentioned actually at All Out. We're going to get to see Hikaru Shida against Thunder Rosa.
That's at the top of the page that I haven't pulled up to.
For the AEW Women's title. And so obviously Thunder Rosa...
If she's not in the Battle Royal, that is where Tessa Blanchard has shown up, because she's not going to WWE.
No, could be Tessa. You've also then got people like, if they've got this working relationship with the NWA, is it going to be Nick Aldis, the current NWA World Heavyweight Champion? Also, NWA have got this great agreement with Ring of Honor. Are we finally going to see the villain Marty Scurll make his AEW debut in the Battle Royal? Now that I am there for.
That would be amazing, but I think that would waste his debut in AEW. If Scurll does come over, he needs to come over as full-on villain mode with the mask, with the umbrella. And
fuck it. Get rid of Cody. Put him in the Four Horsemen. Give me Cody, Scurll, and FTR.
Yeah.
Give me that as the Four Horsemen. I am happy with that.
I mean, now that I've not really been paying as much attention to AEW as I have done in the past. But looking at it now, I'm like, this looks like a decent card. The Jericho and Orange Cassidy thing is going to be weird.
Yes. It'll be brilliant, though.
It's the Omega and Page versus FTR that just...
Match of the night. 100%.
It's going to steal the whole show.
Dave Meltzer, 7 stars, that. Meltzer will give that 7 stars.
At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
If Meltzer says it...
If Meltzer says it's great, then fuck Dave Meltzer.
So, do you know what? We have smashed through absolutely everything, barring one thing. Now, a very close friend of mine, Mr. Daniel Radanovic has wanted to be on the pod for a while, and we work in hospitality. There's been a few issues and stuff, and he said to me he would like the final word on this podcast today. So I've not just said he can have the final word and the final question going forward. This is Dan's forever now. So the last 5 minutes is going to be dedicated to Dan Radan. So on the first question on the list of Radanovic, I have to ask one question to my guests. You today, James, are my guest. And Dan's wealth of wrestling knowledge takes us back to pre-Attitude Era wrestling. And Dan Radan would like to know your thoughts on the Bushwhackers.
On a side note of this, yeah, that walk. I've done that walk many times through Manchester after a couple of drinks. You know, I don't know what it's called, camo? You know, where you can get like celebrities to do like a birthday.
Cameo! Yes, they're on Cameo.
My mate's birthday was a couple of months ago, and one of his mates paid for one of the Bushwhackers to do a birthday wish video. And you know, they're normally like 2 or 3 minutes. This was like 10 minutes of him going on and on. And honestly, it's one of the funniest things I have ever watched. So I have nothing but love for the Bushwhackers, especially that Royal Rumble elimination where he just walked straight in, back out, just walked straight back again. So I have absolutely and they were also brilliant in the Battle Royal at 2000 at WrestleMania X7.
Oh, the gimmick Battle Royal.
The gimmick Battle Royal. So the Bushwhackers get a big thumbs up.
Thumbs up for the Bushwhackers. Ladies and gents, there you have it. We've done it. We're back. We've been away for a while, but now we are back. There's going to be a lot more content coming over this next coming month. I can also now confirm, after talks with my not here currently tag team partner, Mr. Stephen Chambers, we are going to get some video content of myself stepping in between the ropes and going through a little bit of wrestling training. It's something that we're looking at. We're in talks with a couple of places over in Manchester about going over there and filming some stuff with them. We are hoping to get in touch with Gia Adams, Alexis Falcon, Tonga, and Holly Barlow, not forgetting at the end there, to find out how those guys are getting on now that they're back training, maybe some future shows that we can get up to date with, and hopefully get to see them guys perform live and interview them before and after their performances. As always, it is a pleasure. My name is Reece Cole. You can find me on Twitter at Colemania. I am part of the incredible TTYL network. We have got Marvel podcasts, Into the Nerdiverse podcast, the Watch My Age Again podcast, and of course, my incredible guest this evening, Mr. James Matthews. Thank you very, very much. And as always, if you feel you have got what it takes to step between the ropes and go one-on-one with a great one, come at me, bro. Hashtag fuck you, Jim Cornette. Wakanda forever.
This podcast is part of the That Thing You Might Like network. Here's something you might like. Find us on socials at